Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. From the Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. You can expect mostly sunny skies and a high of 94. From inside Northeast Baptist Hospital, nurses' jobs have been fundamentally changed by the coronavirus, an invisible threat that keeps them at arm's length from their patients. Look out for our latest feature story today, the result of 18 hours inside of COVID-19 ICU. Also this morning, you're invited to join the Express News editorial board as they interview Mayor Ron Nirenberg, City Manager Eric Walsh, and Police Chief William McManus to discuss policing issues and the city's police contract. Watch it live at 9 a.m. or on our Facebook. And now, today's top headlines. As the protests raged across the U.S. in the days after George Floyd's death, politicians and law enforcement officials issued dire warnings that a radical leftist group was using the unrest to smash storefronts and sow terror. But among the hundreds of arrests made during the protests, police in the 5 biggest Texas cities have so far reported jailing just 3 Antifa affiliates who they accuse of looting a Target in Austin. Benjamin Wermund explores the political dispute between the nation's top officials and a loosely affiliated network of far-left activists and talks to terrorism experts. They are angry, they are tired, they say that as black men, they know they could lose their lives at any time because of the color of their skin. These are the sentiments of 8 African American men from San Antonio who are determined to effect real change at this time. They say they are beyond parsing words about the death of another black man in police custody. Vincent T. Davis talked to leaders of the Denver Heights Business Group and 100 Black Men of San Antonio about what has been missing from the marches and rallies and their opinions on police reform. The so-called living rock cactus, an obscure desert plant found only in the Big Bend region and a slice of neighboring Mexico, isn't much to look at. In fact, until it blooms in the fall, it's very hard to see. But to collectors in Europe and Asia, the squat, spineless, and cushiony cactus is a living jewel. Some are willing to pay thousands of dollars, no questions asked, for a single smuggled specimen. And until the law stepped in, some Texans were cashing in with wholesale shipments of the protected species overseas. John McCormick has all the details, including the punishment 6 Texas men now face. A San Antonio firefighter recently indulged in casual racism. On Thursday, the fire department made the difficult but correct decision to terminate the firefighter, whose name was not released by the city. Columnist Gilbert Garcia writes, Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin may have been the one who put his knee down on Floyd, but all of the people who made light of the killing by replicating it with the George Floyd challenge on social media posts are the ones feeding the ugliest side of humanity, the side that laughs at empathy and views the death of a 46-year-old black man as nothing more than meme fodder. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all these headlines and more at expressnews.com. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases and people hospitalized with the disease in Bexar County are growing at disconcerting rates, officials said on Wednesday. We are entering a second wave, said Don Emmerich, director of Metro Health. President Donald Trump returned to George Floyd's home state for the first time since he was killed, calling what happened to Floyd a disgrace and pledging to push for reforms to policing while also slamming efforts to defund police departments. San Antonio City Council indefinitely extended the city's public health emergency declaration on Thursday as Bexar County sees spikes in the new number of coronavirus cases, but doing so is now mostly a formality. It was an unusual scene at a city council meeting on Thursday as council members probed Police Chief William McManus and city officials on an otherwise standard application for state funds to help pay for the city's and county's joint auto theft unit. 19 AT&T employees who worked in the San Antonio call center have sued the company for unpaid overtime, alleging they were permitted or required to work off the clock. Betting on a continuing uptick in airline passengers, Southwest Airlines is increasing its flights system-wide, including restarting direct flights from San Antonio to Orlando and Nashville, and increasing the number of daily flights to other destinations. A state-run veterans home in Floresville, which has had 5 residents who died from COVID-19 related causes since the pandemic began, reported Thursday that it's free of the coronavirus with no residents testing positive. Business columnist Michael Taylor writes, "Forget their words and look at their actions. Modern monetary theory has taken over the Washington consensus of policymakers." House and Senate Democrats have drafted a bill, the Justice in Policing Act, which would ban chokeholds and make it easier to prosecute police misconduct. The Express News editorial board weighs in on the legislation. Texas athletic coordinator Chris Del Conte talked with our Nick Moyle about how he's weathered a months-long storm that led to the shutdown of college sports amid a global pandemic and an ensuing recession. How Brian and Dina LaRocca Murphy, married for 16 years, got sick from COVID remains a mystery. They hadn't traveled to any coronavirus hotspots, hadn't spent any time with anyone who ended up getting sick. They recovered and have since donated plasma a combined 10 times. Melissa Fletcher Stolce explains how convalescent serum therapy works and why the duo keeps coming back to the blood bank's plasma donation station. And now, let's get into the fun stuff. SA Symphony music director Sebastian Lang-Lessing shares how an orchestra can survive during the coronavirus pandemic. In baseball news, Texas A&M pitcher and former Kerrville TV star Asa Lacy was selected 4th overall by the Kansas City Royals in the Major League Baseball draft. Also, New Braunfels native and Mississippi State shortstop Jordan Westberg was taken 30th. For now, tacos, lamb chops, and pad thai from 3 of the city's best restaurants are only available for takeout. In gardening news, Calvin Finch has your summer lawn care guide, and Neil Sperry addresses an attack on a peach tree and other readers' issues in his down-to-earth column. Boxing world champion Mario Barrios has some advice for his pal, fellow San Antonian Joshua Franco, who fights for the WBA super flyweight title June 23rd in Las Vegas. That's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Friday, June 12th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories we talked about today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast in your Apple Podcast app. It really helps the show. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.